Today we're talking about comparing fractions by drawing pictures. So you're going to see circles again. We've been talking about circles, fractions being represented inside circles. You have your total parts, then you have the shaded pieces, which represent the numerator. If I wanted to, and you can do this on your whiteboard also, if I wanted to represent 1/4 by using a fraction circle, how could I do that? Would I separate it like this into 4 equal pieces?
Yes. No.
No. Okay, what would I do?
It just glitched.
Sayla. Okay, she's showing me line down the middle vertically and horizontally, and I'm going to shade one of those 4 pieces. Okay, most of you are showing me that on your whiteboards. Good. If I wanted to show 1/2, I could split it vertically, I could split it horizontally, but I want to make sure I only shade one of the 2 pieces. Okay, could I compare these two? Which one is showing more? And picture like pizza for a minute. If I got 2 pizza boxes out of the fridge of leftovers, and I was really hungry, which pizza box would I want to eat from? The 1/4 or the 1/2?
The bigger one.
The 1/2, because it's got more pizza in it.
The big one.
Okay, I'm looking at the shaded portion. I can draw pictures to be able to compare fractions because I will know that the greater fraction has more shaded pieces. Okay, now, I have an example and it says, Armando finished his math assignment in 1/3 of an hour. Jan finished hers in half an hour. Who took longer? Okay. Yes, you may know this right off the top of your head, but if you don't, and if fractions may confuse you a little bit, you can draw pictures. I want to see pictures, not an answer. Okay, so this says draw pictures to compare these fractions. So I'm going to draw 2 circles, and I'm going to split this one into thirds. I'm going to shade 1/3, and then this one is going to be 1/2. Now, which one of these circles has more shaded? The 1/2. Okay, who did 1/2 of an hour? Jan did. So my answer would be Jan. Could I draw, not even using circles?
Yep.
Do you think it would work if I drew 2 rectangles and I split one of them in half and I split one of them in thirds and I shaded 1/3 and 1/2? Can I still tell a difference? Can I see that 1/2 is still greater than 1/3? Yeah. It doesn't have to always be circles. You can use rectangles. Pictures will help you visually see that one fraction is bigger or smaller than another. Okay, now these are just fractions written out in order already from least to greatest. Okay, least to greatest. 1/9 is the smallest, which is smaller than 1/8, which is smaller than a 7th and a 6th, and then it keeps going in order. 1/2 is the greatest. What do you see or what do you notice about the value of fractions when the numerators are all the same? The same numerator, okay, it's 1 in every single one of these fractions. I need y'all to look at the board. The numerator is 1 in every single one of these fractions. What do you see if it's going from least to greatest? What do you see happening? Mm-hmm.
The least, the denominator is the highest, and then the denominator is the lowest number.
So in the fraction that's the least value, the denominator is higher. What does that mean? The denominator is representing what in the picture of a fraction? What does the denominator represent? Does it represent the pieces shaded or the total number of pieces? The total number of pieces. So if I took a rectangle and I divided it into 9 equal parts and I only shaded one of them versus a rectangle that's the same length but is split into 6 equal parts and I only shade one of those, okay, I'm taking something that is the same size, cutting it up or breaking it up into a different number of total parts, and I'm only shading one because my numerator on all of these fractions is the same, it's 1. If I were to do every single one of these and draw a rectangle to represent every single one of these fractions, the next one down would be fifths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can see that 1/5 is slightly more than 1/6. 1/4 would be slightly more than 1/5. 1/3 would be slightly more than 1/4, and so on. Okay, you're reducing the amount of pieces you're cutting up something into. And then you're still only shading one of those pieces. So by the time you get all the way down to 1/2, this is what you're looking at. You've got the same length of board and you're shading 1/2 of it. So you can see that, okay, well, 1 out of 2 pieces, yeah, that's going to be obviously the most, versus taking one board and cutting it up into 9 sections and only shading one of them. Okay, how do we feel about pictures? Using pictures to compare. It helps sometimes to draw a picture. Okay, you'll have a couple of these questions in your written practice today. Your written practice starts on page 261.
What, are you done?
Yeah, I told you it was short.
That's only like 5 minutes.
Written practice starts on page 261, goes to page 263, and numbers 2 through 4 need you to write an equation before you solve.